And it is our pleasure to welcome him in for the first time to the Waddle and Silvy Show. Let's go live to Milwaukee right now and pick it up with Ben Brown on the CarX Tire and Auto Hotline. Ben, welcome to the Waddle and Silvy Show.
How's it going, guys?
We're doing well. Congratulations on yesterday's start.
Thank you.
So when did you know that you were throwing a no-hitter?
Yeah, I'm pretty. I don't know. I think a lot of thoughts when I pitched. So I was on it pretty early, probably from out one. I mean, I wasn't necessarily this is a no hitter kind of day, but just as far as going in between innings and whatnot, I'm pretty mindful of it. But yeah, it was really cool.
Are you superstitious in any way? Like, did you
No.
behave a specific way throughout the game?
No, I don't believe in that kind of stuff.
How about, like, as you were getting ready in the bullpen before a start, do you know that you have lights out stuff? Or have you been in situations that you don't feel like you have something and then you do have something?
Yeah, I didn't really feel like I had the best pregame kind of warm up yesterday. So definitely a little bit of a night and day difference from the game to bullpen, which is pretty cool. It's not usually like that, but having that yesterday was pretty cool.
So what was your mindset after 7? Did you know that it was over? Did you want to go back out for the 8th inning?
Yeah, I think like the competitor in us every single guy would want to go out there for the 8th. And, I was definitely ready to go and feeling good, but I totally understand where they were coming from. And most importantly, we won the game yesterday. But I mean, I haven't really been super built up in the last couple of weeks, so. I definitely understand, and for the betterment of my career, and team moving forward. So it's all good.
Were you told immediately when you got off the mound after 7 that was it for you?
I think I went back to the bench and then I walked over with Craig. It was pretty cool. It was a cool moment though.
Oh, so Ben, have they told you at all? Because Waddle and I, the one thing that we've loved about your time with the Cubs this year is whatever you've been asked to do, you've done. You want to be, if they need an opener, you've opened. If they need someone out of the pen, you've been the guy out of the pen. If they need a guy to start games, you've started. Have they now leaned towards starting you after your success recently?
I don't know. I mean, I threw the ball pretty well, first couple goes around as a starter early on this year. And, still went to the bullpen after that. So I don't necessarily think it's based off of how I'm performing, but I think it's more so like what the team needs, and that's awesome, and I love that. And I'm definitely down for whatever role. I could move to the bullpen next start. It wouldn't be a big deal for me. It's just whatever the team needs, I'm ready for it.
And a lot of guys say that, but a lot of guys can't execute that. So what has it been about your mindset where you've been just able to roll with it and not be such a creature of habit and just been able to execute whatever they've needed?
Yeah, I think every single day I've been in the big leagues, it's been life-changing, from a, following your dream standpoint to, the teammates I have, to obviously the financial stuff going on as well. So whatever role they want to put me in, I'm more than eager to take up whatever role. I can swallow the pride pill, and whether it's starter, reliever, just throwing bullpen, staying ready, whatever the case is, like I'm all in for whatever they have to offer to me. And I think taking every single day with an open hand, there was points maybe even last year where, I deep down I probably knew I was a big leaguer, but I wasn't really positive of where I stood as a professional baseball player. There was a lot of doubt or whatnot just over the years of being a minor leaguer for so long. So being able to be here and just taking it all with an open hand has been the approach for sure. And I've had some awesome teammates helping me through navigating workload and whatnot.
Ben Brown joining us. It's Waddle and Silvy on ESPN 1000. A couple of those answers caught my ear. Jesse Rogers, I think, told us a refreshing story, the person who booked you for the show. Yeah. And it's refreshing to hear you just mentioned finances. Not a lot of people admit that, but one thing I think you said earlier in the year is you're just thankful to be getting a major league paycheck and you'll do whatever you want to do. Explain that.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't sign for much money. My parents kind of helped me out a lot going through professional baseball. for training and for just about everything. So, being able to provide for my family. I'm married now. It's such a blessing. I mean, it's been a long time of not really making much, 7 years or whatever it was, 8 years. So, getting that opportunity and just it's tough to come up here and I want this role X, Y, or Z, or I have this expectation, like whatever it is. I mean, I'm just super grateful for just being here for sure.
Have some of the veterans stuck you with a large restaurant bill at any point now that you're consistently on a big league schedule?
No, they're awesome. They've actually done the contrary. They're always just taking care of us, and every single one of those guys has been, in their own way, just been so great. So,
hey, what's been the biggest adjustment for you on the field?
On the field, I think it's just there's much more of a pitch-to-pitch focus, making adjustments have to come a lot faster, but hitters in the big leagues, they capitalize on mistakes a lot better than other levels. So, it's really focusing on intent, especially two strike pitches. Those are big ones up here. So definitely just a lot of more intent on those 2 strike pitches and making sure you're not letting up damage 0-2, 1-2.
Have you leaned on any of the experience from some of the older guys, and maybe there's a guy inside that clubhouse that has kind of taken you under his wing and it helped you?
Yeah, every single guy out in the bullpen is like a big brother to me. Mark Leiter Jr. is just such a gamer, and I've learned so much from him and Hector and Drew and as a bullpen guys. And I mean, starting wise, JMO and Steely and Shota, they're incredible. But in particular, being able to watch Kyle go about his business, and I mean, we have one of the best pitchers of the last decade in our locker room pitching for our team right now, and Kyle Hendricks, and just being able to just kind of lean on him and learn a lot from him and see about how he goes about his routine, ask questions, when you're feeling some sort of way, or, whether it's game planning stuff, recovery stuff, Kyle has an answer for all that stuff. And he's just so humble, and he's such a pro, and I'm just so thankful to have him here. And he's been so influential and just walking me through a lot of it, starting a lot more particular starting stuff, but he's been awesome. So I can label every single guy, Drew and Mark. I mean, we have such incredible teammates on this team. This is such a great group.
Ben Brown joining us. It's Waddle and Silvy on ESPN 1000. So, Ben, we'll get a lot of people who say, oh, Kyle's done. He's washed. Get rid of him. He's been a big friend of our show for a long time. Yeah. So what you're telling us is even though he has struggled starting and now he's in the bullpen, he is still helping a guy like you and other people on the team.
Yeah, I think more than that, Kyle is still extremely talented, and he still works harder than every single guy out there. He still puts in preparation like nobody else could even fathom, and his stuff is still very good and excellent. So he's on top of being an amazing teammate. He's also one heck of a pitcher. So it's been really cool having him, and obviously he's getting after it right now, and he's working hard, and he's just such a great teammate, and it's been sweet.
So I know that when the Cubs were in Boston, a lot was made that you grew up as a Red Sox fan. The Cubs and Red Sox have had a lot of connections with a lot of players who played for the Red Sox, a guy like John Lester, who then pitched for the Cubs. Have you gotten a chance to meet any of the players who played for the Red Sox that you grew up idolizing, who then played for the Cubs?
I haven't met them yet. I haven't met Lester, Lackey. Sure, there's others for sure. I did get to meet Veritek when I was out in Boston, and that was one of the coolest, probably one of the top 5 or 10 coolest people I've ever met in my life. It was really sweet.
And you didn't want to bother him at first, correct?
Yeah, I was a little nervous. Yeah, I'm a little timid for sure when it comes to that kind of stuff. But I eventually, Boog gave me up the confidence to go up to him, and I was like, come on, man. This guy, I grew up idolizing him for so long. It would be silly for me not to say hello and let him know how much he's done for my childhood, for sure.
Hey, did you do anything last night to celebrate your performance?
Me and my wife just hung out, watched some more baseball, and we have the dogs here in Milwaukee, so it's we just hung out, got a pizza.
Well,
trying to keep it consistent. Yeah.
for
That's
sure.
great. Congratulations on all the success. Hopefully we can catch up with you when you get back in Chicago one of these days. And all
good.
the best going forward, okay?
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate that.
There you go. There's Ben Brown. It sounds like a really a great guy.
Yeah, and not surprised at all to hear him talk about how helpful Kyle Hendricks has been, despite the fact that Kyle's probably going through the toughest part of his professional pitching career.
Yeah, that's how he's always been.
Yeah.
He's always been that. And, the thing about Kyle, too, is whenever guys like Jason Hayward or other players have struggled and he was going good, Kyle would always have the back of that player. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what comes around goes around. But, yeah, Ben Brown, that was a great trade. It was a great trade.
I love the fact that it's very refreshing to hear him talk also about the fact that, look, I toiled in the minor leagues for a long time. So I appreciate not just the experience, but the financial reward that goes
Yes.
along with it as well.
Because once he goes back to the minors, doesn't he get the minor league check
I would
instead of the
think
major
so.
league check?
I would
Is correct. He has currently a 1 year $910K for being on the major league roster.
And then if he would get option back, it goes back to the minor league salary.
Then you stay at one of those
Yeah.
janky hotels, right?
Sure.
Isn't that they have, like we talked about?
Yes.
You're not staying in the Airbnb that some of the guys doing the rehab stints are doing. No, sir. You're living with 5 other guys in a low rent motel. Isn't
Sleeping
that the
on
way they
air
do
mattresses, yeah.
Bet that.
And it's good to baseball's expensive, and then you hear him talk
yeah.
about his parents, that how his parents have supported him through his minor league days. Like he's still not old, but like
he's 24.
He's still only 24. He's got a lot of great years ahead of him, but he's been in the minor leagues. But he was drafted in 2017.
That's a long time to. I mean, it's
he pitched for the Gulf Coast Phillies, and then he had Tommy John early. You know what that's like when you have Tommy John at the start of your minor league career,
Sure.
coming out of high school.
Mello, you're our pitch-
wherever he was coming
You're
from.
our
Real
pitch
quick,
doctor. Where
I apologize. I gave the wrong Ben Brown contract. Ben Brown's making $740,000.
so less than you originally
Even less
said.
than I gave you. Yes, but still.
Where do you think ultimately he ends up? Is he a bullpen arm because he's a two-pitch guy, or is he a rotation guy?
No. I think he's definitely somebody who'll be in your rotation. Honestly, if the Cubs had any inkling of a real bullpen, major league bullpen these days, I don't even think it would be a question. Ben Brown, though, I think somebody who's shown you he can get through the order at least twice, and definitely into that third time through, he's got a possibility of getting through. So as long as he's effective, he's a starter.
Does he have to develop another pitch? Now, I did see a stat I thought it was wild last night. Regardless of the fact that he's pitched in 13 games with 6 starts. He has struck out more major league batters with a curveball than any other pitcher in the league. I think Boog was bringing us that stat last night on TV.
Listen, it's not the normal path. Usually you need starters to develop a third and sometimes fourth pitch. But the reality is, if you're effective with those 2 pitches and you vary your sequence correctly, you can do it. You just, you have less margin for error.
I know there. Go ahead, Tyler.
He leads the league in whiff rate on curveballs at 50.4%.
So, to me, it's either you're going to use him as your star closer, or you're gonna start him. Like, I know they're deep at starting pitcher, but he's got electric stuff, and he gave you 7 no-hit innings against the Milwaukee Brewers. Why run from that?
I would leave him in my rotation.
Yeah,
let him
start
settle
him
in.
Start him in 5 days from now.
The other thing,
start him again and see where it goes.
yeah, the other thing too is you don't see too many closers with a curveball. That really is like basically you want your closer to be a lights out, 100 plus miles per hour and have a slider to offset it, or
so
a
start 'em.
sweeper. Yeah, like curveball is really not an out pitch for most closers these days.
Yeah, a young guy. I get it. You're having tremendous success with your rotation right now. Let him get acclimated to being a starter every 5th day and see where he can take you.
Yeah. You have to throw 6, you throw 6.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, give everyone an extra day. I don't know. You're there's no such thing as having too many starting pitchers.
Not in 2024. Not until what we said when the season began. You're going to have you're going to need 7 starters, maybe 8.
Yeah.
Over the course of 162 games.
Refreshing guy to talk to, too.
Yeah.
A really good guy.